What's cracking, Jump Nation family? It's your boy here, Rushi, aka the Jump Rope Coach. Welcome back to the home of jump rope fitness and lifestyle people. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to spin a skipping rope. Now it sounds pretty crazy, I already know. Certain people out there, when they first pick up a rope, it's kind of easy to assume that they can just turn it. It's kind of easy just to think, yeah, everyone can just spin a rope. It's a little bit tough for them to really get a rope around, to really understand the wrist position. And I've already talked about wrist position a lot on this channel, but it's usually to kind of help beginners kind of move more advanced in certain moves and tricks. But today I'm going to be teaching you guys really and truly how to start turning the rope around correctly. Going to give you some drills and make sure that you have enough momentum to then tie in with your footwork so that you can actually jump nice and clean. All right, now really and truly the crux of today's video is to train your wrist to work correctly. Is to also kind of talk a little bit about rope length, but not too much because we always talk about rope length. But it's really and truly just to give you a drill to understand how these wrists work. Now, what you're gonna do is you're gonna put your rope down. Most people, when they get the rope, right, they feel like they have to move their whole arms around them, right? This is the action that they have, and nothing is really happening with their wrists as such. And then with their legs, obviously, they're just trying to wait for the rope to come around. So what I'm gonna get you to do is when you're sort of now feeling like you're gonna just hop on the spot, right? You're just gonna hop on the spot, and as you can see my wrist here, it kind of looks a bit booky, I know. But what you're gonna feel here is just loose wrists, all right? Just feel like you're just shaking them off, shaking your wrists off, just shaking kind of water off your wrists, getting the body warm. And I'm just doing a boxer step, but obviously as a beginner, they might start as with a basic bounce. So let's just say you're doing your basic bounce. Your wrists are just shaking like this. Hopefully you can see this. And this is the kind of feeling you want, guys, when you're skipping. You don't want this kind of action. If I told you to sort of just shake the water off your wrists or your fingers, you wouldn't sort of do it like this, right? You wouldn't sort of move your arms around here, everything's off sync. You just sort of just keep your arms in a kind of flex motion, a bit like this, with your elbows here, a little 90-degree potentially. You wouldn't sort of just do it like this. If you think about your thumbs, they're sort of throwing forward. The action is going forward and down, rather than stiff and just down this way. They don't move like this, right? If you can kind of get that action of just feeling like you're just throwing it in front of you, right? That is the feeling you want for the rope. Every little flick of the wrist is when you jump, right? It's not jaggedy like this. And that's just gonna be booky. We don't wanna get you guys started like that. So what you're gonna do now is you're gonna get your rope. This is why I talk about rope length. The rope length needs to be somewhat close to an ideal length when you're first starting. Gradually, as you get better, you're going to shorten this rope. But what happens is, too many beginners start with a really long rope. It starts to drag along the floor. It takes ages to come around them. And it's just, yeah, all off sync. As a quick guide, all right? I don't recommend this as you get better and better, but as a quick guide, you just want to feel like these handles come close to your armpits, all right? It kind of changes as your wrist change. So if you're someone who likes to have your wrist really down here, you're going to need a shorter rope. If you're someone like me who likes to keep their wrists high, you're gonna need a slightly longer rope, okay? You're now gonna place your thumbs down the handle like this, all right? You're not gonna clasp it shut with really kind of tight grip. You're gonna kind of have the thumbs outstretched slightly down the handles. And if you've got something like the money rope performance that I'm using today, or any of our speed ropes, you could do this, all right, with all our ropes, and you've got the perfect ergonomics in our handles, which is why this is the king of ropes, yeah? Check the links. Use Festive15 right now, you get 15% off, guys. Check your local Amazon as well. Usually have some all stocked up. So what you're gonna do now is that first revolution, I want you to feel like you're gonna get this rope around quicker. So you don't have time to do that middle jump. You don't have time to do that little middle jump because now your wrists are super loose and you're kind of throwing this rope quickly in front of you. Now this video doesn't need to be too long, but I really want those who are watching today for the first time, who are picking up a rope and trying to get this rope around them. I actually believe that this is such a great tutorial for you guys because it's just gonna cut all that mess that you have to go through in the early days of your rope journey, all right? So now, just gonna feel this, flicking that water off the wrists, okay? And yeah, I'm gonna do it with a boxer step, but you can do it with your basic bounce as well, just like this, all right? It's so important to have a loose grip, people. I can't stress this enough. If you're so rigid and you're so tight and you're just clasping it like this, it's just, you just don't get just a good action with the rope. This thing needs to be having momentum as it goes around you. The second thing, well, third thing, I don't know what point I'm on right now. I now want you to feel like with your eyes, you're gonna visually see this rope come past your eye line, and that's your cue to jump. At the same time as you jump, I want you just to feel like you're gonna give a little bit more action with the thumb pushing down, which gives the rope that extra little momentum, that little whip to get around you. And then you're gonna have another kind of cycle of turn where the rope is just kind of floating in the air, and then there's another push as it gets closer to your feet. So it's not a constant, really like fast whipping motion every single time, because that would just look like this. That would be too quick for you. It's almost like you just need the timing of the flick by your feet so that it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or whatever kind of rhythm you want to go at. But as you're using your eyes now, probably not the best example using sunglasses, but that's a long story to get into right now. But as you're using your eyes, as soon as you see the rope actually go past your eye line is when you can then activate the flick correctly to give you really nice rhythm and tempo with your jumps and this rope with the momentum, right? So hopefully this is making sense, because what tends to happen sometimes is that the rope sometimes goes too fast at the wrong time. Sometimes it's thrown here when it's above your head. It doesn't make sense. It needs to kind of be thrown, or kind of need to be flicked just by your feet. And that only happens in the early days when you can really, improve your hand-eye coordination. So you need to use your eyes rather than looking into sort of space or looking into a mirror. It's always good to just look at the rope and let your eyes register when it's passing your eye line. That's the cue to then flick and jump at the same time. All right, wrapping up this video, people, I would recommend, highly recommend, that you cop yourself something like the Nova rope, which is on our website, one of my favorite ropes I've ever created. This is a really good rope for beginners, and it's been well documented online as well that certain heavy ropes, or like having a slightly heavy rope, can help a beginner understand where the rope is in the revolution and when to jump. With a slightly heavy rope, the rope can, at the early days, only go so fast around you. So you can feel it more just where this rope is, and it actually it gives you the opportunity to create momentum with your wrists, because the rope does a lot of the work for you. The rope kind of just has its own momentum because it's got that weight behind it. So if you can think about potentially copying yourself or getting hold of a slightly weighted rope like the Nova rope, you implement all the things that I've just mentioned with the wrist, the action, the arm being at a little bit of an angle here rather than across your body like this or behind you like this. Activate those wrists correctly, and trust me, you'll be flying boss in no time. Before I quickly go, just to let you guys know, our next launch is on Boxing Day, so that's the 26th of December. It goes live on midnight on Christmas Day, actually. It's our new RA limited collection clothing line, all right? This is amazing stuff, guys. This is kind of all designed here in-house from the UK, from London, and every piece has a very special meaning to myself, and I really do believe it's the most comfiest fabrics I've ever created and the coolest designs as well. So go check it out. We have some incredible designs coming, and we're also going to have a massive sale that starts on that same day. You're going to get 25% off all merch, all RA ropes, mats, accessories, everything to get you guys flying boss. So guys, hopefully you're having a great holiday season right now. Enjoy your festivities with your friends and family. I'll see you in the next video as always. So take care of yourself, skip the treadmill, stay safe. Peace.
Was the knight in shining armor in your movie? Would put your lips on mine and love the aftertaste now.